with Who Culture, and we're going to be discussing the trailer we saw for the 60th anniversary that we came up this weekend.
Hang on, excuse me, Ellie? What are you doing here? This is the Who's There podcast. This isn't Who Culture or What Culture. This is nothing.
Hijacked.
We've been hijacked. What are you doing here?
Sorry. I did it again, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
This is what you do. You just claim ownership wherever you go. It's a bit rude.
The fandom is mine.
Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast, the show where three YouTubers this time get together and talk about the greatest show in all the time and space, Doctor Who. I'm your host, Troy, also known as Renarch Live. With me, as always, is the annoyingly Australian Crispy Pro. Say hi to the audience.
Hi, audience.
That wasn't stilted at all. But joining us is a very special guest for our 60th episode to talk about the 60th anniversary. Someone who isn't 60, so the joke doesn't really work. But either way, it's Ellie Littlechild of Who Culture fame. Welcome, Ellie. How are you doing?
I'm very good.
Trying to think of a pun on the spot is more challenging than it sounds, guys. So age was where I went. I don't know why that was where I went, but it was. How have you been? How are you doing?
I'm good. I feel like I've just about recovered.
From what? Was doing the chicken intro or what?
Well, yeah, from the chicken intro, from just a weekend of just madness and chaos, you know? You've got trailers, you've got work to do.
Yeah, this is the most taxing work that we do all week. It's very challenging. Yeah, it's been a weekend. It's been a weekend. Poor Crispy got up at what, 5:30 in the morning to react to the trailer?
Correct. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Like I love when Doctor Who drops stuff like that, but seeing all of these like Twitter posts being like, oh, you know, it was like a year ago that we had David and Catherine, year ago since Yasmin Finney, it was a year ago since Troy was ringing me up at 4 a.m. in the morning saying, oh, Doctor Who has tweeted some emojis. I'm like, thanks, Troy. Really appreciate it. It's just a scarring thing.
You told me to ring you.
I know. But after the third time, I was like, I need to get some sleep, I think. We have this tradition now, Ellie, where whenever we think something's going to happen, he's like, oh, do ring me when it happens, then I'll make a decision as to whether I get up or not. So I kind of figured out when the trailer was going to come out, when Doctor Who were going 3 hours to go, 2 hours to go, so I called him, and he didn't pick up. I was like, okay, he's probably sleeping, I'll wait a little bit longer. And then I called him again, and he didn't pick up. And then I called him once more, and he still didn't pick up. I was like, right, I'm just letting him sleep. I was like, he's clearly going to sleep through this, and he'll make a video when he wakes up in about 4 or 5 hours. As soon as I finished live streaming on the podcast, I suddenly see new Crispy Pro video trailer reaction. I was like, you could have got up half an hour earlier and been there with me. I missed all of your calls. I'm
very upset.
But anyway,
very upset.
Alas.
I mean, I thought it was bad enough working in the night. I thought it was bad enough, you know, waiting for the trailer, making the notes, recording the video, getting that to Danny, our editor. And, you know, it was late at night for us, but I didn't really think about it being early in the morning as well. Time differences confused me.
I was really impressed. Like, I was really impressed with the turnover you guys had, because I know Danny, because spoiler alert for everyone, I am a part of Who Culture. I'm a little freelancer for them. It's good fun. So Ellie and I are technically colleagues, which is crazy. But the fact that you guys were able to get something out as fast as you did, and because Who Culture really put a lot of effort into their videos, and to make it to the same standard that quickly, I mean, props to you guys. Well done.
Props to Danny.
Well done.
Honestly, I mean, once
props
my bit's
Danny.
done, it's out of my hands. We wrote some notes. All I did was press record on the camera and blab for half an hour, and then he had to deal with that mess.
And that's what we're going to do today. All right?
Yeah, and I'm barely going to edit it, you know? That's just how it works. It's a well-oiled machine. But no, I'm with you on that. See, the thing is, I got one for Payday 3. They did a little trailer on last Monday morning, and I saw it at 6:30 and went, I'm going back to bed. There wasn't enough there for me to talk about, so I just did a video when I woke up later. I didn't have the commitment you did, Crispy.
Well, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got to do
exactly.
But for those of you who might not know of our guest, Ellie, first of all, what are you doing? And second of all, Ellie, could you tell people who you are, what you're doing, what's your story?
What's my story?
Yeah.
Not my whole life story from birth to right now.
yeah, right there. Yeah, exactly.
No, so I am Ellie Littlechild, and I am one of the main presenters over at Who Culture on YouTube. which is a kind of breakaway channel of What Culture, which is the main company, the main channel. We've got lots of different channels. We've got Trek Culture. I'll just urge people to go towards that one as well. Just, I've done my job. We've got a horror channel. I think there's Star Wars, there's gaming, there's all different channels. I don't work across all of them, but primarily Doctor Who is
the Star
where
Wars.
my heart is.
Are you taking applications for Star Wars by any chance? Or
that is a good question.
He's got a million lightsabers. He's got a million lightsabers, and he'll take any chance to talk about Star Wars. It's ridiculous.
I've never really been drawn in by Star Wars. I'm sorry, is that just have I been disowned?
By Troy, the podcast is about to take a turn. Unfortunately, now.
I'm so
sorry.
Anyway,
we've got polls from this week. We're gonna look at this week's poll because we asked our audience. Gonna swiftly move on. My blood is boiling, but it's fine. No. So this week's weekly poll was: do you think Russell T Davies will only be showrunner for Ncuti Gatwa's tenure, or will he stay on for another Doctor after that? So it was two options. He'll go when Ncuti does, or he'll do the 16th Doctor, another Doctor after Ncuti. Ellie, let's ask you. You're our guest. What do you think Russell will do? And also, what do you think the poll has said? Let's get two answers here.
Okay. I think that it depends on how long Ncuti is the Doctor for. I think if he's doing it for a really long time, like 3 years or more, then maybe Russell will kind of leave as he does. Maybe he'll kind of come in and work his magic and then go, my work here is done, and go. But if Ncuti's not around for that long, I feel like Ncuti is an up-and-coming actor. So how long is it going to be until he gets offered something else that he goes, actually, I'm off. I've done my part here and I'm going to go. Exactly. I'm going to Hollywood.
Barbie movie
I think
2.
It really depends. I think it really Barbie. Do you know what? I'm quite intrigued by that film.
So am I.
I literally said to Crispy, out of that and Oppenheimer, like whichever the one I want to watch first is Barbie. I'm more intrigued by that at this point. I'm like, I'll watch Barbie first.
But yeah, I think it really depends on how long Ncuti is sticking around for. But I also know how much Russell loves Doctor Who. So now that he's got his hands around it again, will he want to let go again?
Well, maybe not. That
is the ultimate question.
Crispy, what have you got any opinions before we take it to the poll? What do you think?
I think, yes, he will. I can't see Ncuti staying for more than 3. I honestly think Ncuti will be the first one in a long time to only have 2 series. But
that's what I'm thinking as well. I think he may end up doing 2 series. I do genuinely think that's possible.
We will see.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
What does the audience think, Troy?
Well, starting off with, actually, Spotify and YouTube have almost got exact percentages. Spotify's 25 votes and YouTube 398 votes. And for Spotify, 72% say he'll do the 16th Doctor, and YouTube, 73% say the same thing. So about 3/4 of the audience think he will continue on past Ncuti. He won't leave when Ncuti does. Which I mean, if you ask yourself this, if Christopher Eccleston stayed on for 3 or 4 series, would Russell have gone when Chris did in that case? Did he stay on because Christopher wasn't there for very long? What was his original plan? Do we know?
That's huge. I don't know. We'll have to text him. Ellie, what do you think?
Yeah, Ellie's got him on speed dial. Go on, give him a ring. Give Russ a ring.
Oh yeah, I definitely do. Definitely do not. Yeah, no, that's very interesting. Would he have stuck around with Christopher Eccleston? I don't know, judging by the stories we've heard, I think if Christopher Eccleston had stayed, then maybe Russell would have gone. Who knows?
Yeah, true. True. Very valid point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you make a good point. Yikes.
That's a big yikes, man.
Well, there you go. Well, we've got a pretty big thing to talk. We've got a couple of big things to talk about this week. We haven't got any news, I don't believe, have we, Crispy? It's been a quiet week, besides from obviously the trailer. But
your person, we've got the trailer, but we'll be chatting about that in a second. But apart from your news, Troy, we don't have any official Doctor Who news this week, which is a relief.
You're making it sound very highbrow. It was only a convention, my friend. It was only a convention.
And you met someone that's going to be coming back in the new unit spin-off.
Well, this is it's or something even cooler. It seems like, but we'll see. Let me see if I got the picture working. Okay, so I've got a picture working here. That's me and my mum with Jared Padalecki of Supernatural fame. I didn't want to put the Freema picture up immediately because I didn't want to spoil it. But ladies and gentlemen, at Wales Comic Con on Saturday. Freema Agyeman, our lovely Martha Jones, is in attendance. So got to meet her, have a bit of a chat. So I wanted to just kind of share that and also say she hasn't aged a day. Whatever her skincare routine is, I want in on it because she is clearly going to the same Fountain of Youth class that Paul Rudd's going to. I want notes. I want everything. But she was so lovely. I wore that jacket because it's meant to be a Star-Lord jacket, but I figured it kind of looked a little bit Martha-esque. I was like, she has the red leather
That's what
jacket.
I thought when you wore it.
Yeah, I was like, she's got a red leather jacket. That might work. As soon as I walked up to her, she went, I love the jacket. Is that meant to be... And then she went to say Star-Lord and then kind of went... I was like, it's both. Like, it's a Star-Lord jacket, but honestly, it's Martha. She went, no one's ever done that before. I really like that. I was like, no one's posed next to you in a red leather jacket before. I was kind of surprised by that. But,
surely someone
she loved it. She loved it. She loved it.
No, well, that's good. So, I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, she was brilliant. It was a nice Comic Con because I spent more of the time like just chatting to people from like the Hugh community. Like I met, Megan Luke out of DW 2012 doing the fan film stuff.
Nice.
Met Tharies. So I've been doing some networking. We're doing some networking.
Wow.
But I did get an autograph. I got 2 autographs from Freema, so I'll just show those off. I've got this here. I'm trying to keep this speed line because I don't want Ellie to be sat here just outside looking in on the convention stuff. I want us to talk about the trailer.
I want to hear the stories.
I found this, which is a Martha Jones, for the audio listeners, a Martha Jones Series 3 action figure. I think I actually have this action figure buried somewhere, but it isn't in the box. Someone at one of the stalls was just selling this for £15. Was not expecting it to be that cheap because it's, 15 years old now? And the guy made a point like, I'm not upselling it because she's here. I don't want anyone buying off me and upselling it. I was like, cool, I'll have it then. So I got her to sign it and I got her to write one of her very appropriate quotes, boys and their toys, because I thought that made sense. That was quite a clever little play. I have to give my mum credit because it was her idea. If I try and claim it was mine, she'll probably just be very upset. But it was a great idea. And then I got the picture signed as well. Now, the funny thing with getting the picture signed, because I always get pictures signed, my main thing, Ellie, is whenever there's a guest who's got a pop, I'll get them to sign the Funko Pop. If they don't have one, I get them to sign the photo I get with them. So the figure was an extra thing. And I was like, what am I going to get her to write on the photo? I normally get a quote. And I was like, what am I going to wear? I was thinking, like, We're on the Bloody Moon would be a great one. But I was like, does that fit a photo shoot, really? Like, when I got one with Sophie Aldred, I got her to put, that's a good look on you, Professor. Like, it was appropriate to the photo shoot. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't think. So I just said to her, I went, you know what? You write what you want to write on there. You put it to Troy, write something on. I'm happy, whatever you put. She put We're on the Bloody Moon. So it was meant to be. I didn't even look at it until we walked away from the desk and then went, hang on a minute. She wrote what I was going to say anyway. So
perfect. Oh, it's good.
She was genuinely one of the loveliest people. She was so sweet and like down to earth, and the queue for her was insane.
Yeah,
it's just like Eve Miles. Like, you might not have expected Eve Miles to have like a flurry of people, but she had a massive amount of people at the last con. Freema had a ton of people this time. I think it's because she's not done a convention in like 5 or 6 years or something. So there were a lot of people who turned up. I mean, she was the only reason I went. My mum went for Jared. I wasn't as bothered by that. I like Supernatural, but not as much as she does.
Oh,
but it was
I went
lovely.
to London Film and Comic Con last year, and it was the one that what's the guy that's in Stranger Things? What's his name?
Oh, Joe Quinn.
Joe Quinn. Yeah, so it was that one where like everything just turned into chaos. That one that just went everywhere on Twitter, and it was massively busy. I did see a lot of people crowding around for him. I just went to wander around, to be honest. I didn't take any photos with anyone, or I went to Alex Kingston's talk, but I didn't do any photos or autographs.
It's probably the better way to do it. I feel like all the chaos that we get from conventions, like, it's nice now because now because I've met like a lot of the doctors and the companions, like I can kind of just go for the odd person and be like, right, it's much less pressurizing now. The first one I went to meeting Jodie was just, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. It was a great day, but like logistically horrific.
I'm always in two minds about when you meet them at conventions as well, because I'm always like, yeah, you've met them, but it was for like 2 seconds, and they are being paid to be there. I don't want to break anyone's hearts, but I have met Alex Kingston twice before, but it was after a play, and I felt like that was more of like, she chose to come out there and say hello. She didn't have to, and we chatted for quite a while.
Bit more meaningful.
And it felt, she was more likely to remember me than if I'd just been in a queue and someone pushed me towards her at a convention and then went, okay, you're good, you can go now, and it's like, okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
That's true.
I think a case could be made like against cons and stuff.
I'm just waiting for the next David Tennant convention because I'm hoping he'll remember me for more than being at a Comic-Con. Yeah, he'll
He's
go.
at Basingstoke Comic-Con in like 2 weeks' time, I think it is.
That's like 4 or 5 hours away on train.
That's
I did consider
my town.
it. I considered it. But he's there, and Jeffrey D. Morgan's there as well, so I was like, that would be really cool.
Do you know what? I tell you though, everyone that lives in Basingstoke has literally been looking at this going, is this real? Why are they doing a Comic-Con in Basingstoke? They're literally holding the Comic-Con where I had my school prom.
Oh wow! Oh, surreal!
Wow,
surreal.
I'm not going, but
there you go.
I was about to ask, are you going to go? Oh,
well, I originally was going to go, and then I had spoken to them about creator passes and stuff, and I hadn't heard anything, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. So then I was booked to go to LA, and then they got back to me and went, yeah, sure, when do you want to come? And I was like, oh, sorry, I can't come now.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Wow. But yeah, creator passes are the way to go.
They had their chance.
Yeah, they did.
They missed it.
You're booked and busy. That's how it goes.
I'm booked and busy. I'm going to LA. See ya.
Well,
see ya. Bye.
Well, the only other thing to add on. So I did this Telford trip today. This time around in one day. Normally we stay overnight and like kind of either go on the Sunday or come back on the Sunday. But because we didn't want to spend money in a hotel unnecessarily. We were only going for a couple of people. But also I was thinking, got to get home to make sure I'm here for this trailer so I can do a live stream for it and everything. We left pretty much as soon as we'd met all the people, and like I'd said hi to a couple of people who were like at the con. So we left before or just around the same time Freema was doing her talk. I was like, I want to go, but I don't think we got enough time. But apparently during that talk, she was asked, are you in the 60th? And she said, quote, I don't know how to answer that, unquote, and then laughed. So, do we think she's in the 60th? Like, that seems like a very sus reply, where she didn't just go, maybe, maybe not, in a Karen Gillan fashion. She was kind of like, I didn't think you were going to ask me that. Can we move on, please? So,
how can you not think someone's going to ask you that?
Don't know. Maybe she's so out of the convention space that she forgot. Yeah. It's like, I filmed it last year. I mean, what?
My bad.
I feel like they're given a list of things at the beginning of a con that they're like, right, you're not allowed to talk about this, and you can't say that, and you don't mention this. And then they're like, well, what do I talk about?
Catherine Tate. I'll always remember that. Catherine Tate meeting her literally like about 2 weeks before it was announced she was coming back. I remember saying to her, I was like, remember you were in Liverpool filming something? I think it was for like the Nan movie, and everyone thought you were filming Doctor Who. She's like, oh no, that's not. I'm not filming for Doctor Who. And I was like, yeah, I know, but everyone was saying it. She's like, no. 2 weeks later, David Tennant and Catherine Tate returned to Doctor Who. I was like, you have one hell of a poker face. I've got to tell you.
I don't know how they do it.
Very well, yeah. I don't
Ridiculous.
know. It's like when someone says to me, do you enjoy recording with Crispy? And I'm like, yeah, I enjoy it. Can we talk about something else, please? Sorry, I've got to stop. I've got to stop the deprecating jokes.
Will she? Well, I mean, I feel like the way she answered it kind of is like, well, I'm maybe not in the 60th, but that I might be back. I mean,
I'm in
we
that
know
unit
there's a
spin-off
unit
that we're
spin-off
pretending
coming.
We don't know about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think there is a high likelihood, and Russell is seemingly getting the whole band back together and knows that Martha is still alive and still out there and doing well. So I can definitely see her coming back, but in the 60th, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right time for her. But I mean, it might just be a cameo.
I think I would prefer Martha to be brought back than Rose. I think Rose has had her time. You brought Rose back so many times that it actually, I think if you brought Rose back again, I'd just be like, oh, well, that was predictable.
Here we go. It's Billie Piper.
She's back
again.
again.
To see what Martha's up to now. Yeah, I mean, she'll be divorced from Mickey probably. Anyway, so moving on from that. Don't worry, that was a nice little fourth wall break there. It's about as far as we go with this stuff. Don't worry, Ellie. We're not touching anything beyond that. But yeah, so that was a nice little convention because there wasn't that much going on. It was quite cool. Said hi to Paul McGann again and gave him a hug. That was nice. I also asked him about the fact that he was in a game. I think, did I send you that picture, Crispy?
Yeah.
Of him in the most
Skittle.
recent. Have you seen the game he's in, Ellie? That Mira and the Dragon Princess that came out about 2 weeks ago. Not sure if you've seen it. No, it's like a live action. Like they film everything. It's like a choice-based game that's all filmed like live action. And he plays like the villain in the game. And there's about 7 different endings, but in one of them, I don't know if he mentioned this on the podcast, but one of the endings, he literally chokes on a Skittle and dies.
I mean, Skittles, they're dangerous things.
Yeah,
no,
they are
you
very
need
dangerous.
to see the clip. Basically, someone chucks it into the air, they bounce it off their wrist, and it just suddenly lands in his throat and he chokes. It's It's the weirdest thing.
Bombastic.
So I asked him about that. I went, what was it like filming that? He went, do you know what? It was so much fun doing that. I went, is this going to look any... They were like, trust me, we'll ut it together, it'll look good. And he was like, oh, okay. But it was fun hearing him talk about that and how much... Yeah, trust the process. Trust the process. But yeah, so that's the gist of Telford. Not as much to say this time. Don't worry, Crispy, I'll still put it in the playlist for Comic-Con stories. I'll still do it. It still counts.
Thank you very much.
It still counts.
Appreciate that.
We've got to have our organisation.
Appreciate that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the big topic. It's time for the big one. Because, while there's not much in the way of news, on Saturday there was a particular trailer that came out that gave us a bit of information. A little bit of info. Crispy, do you want to tell everyone what we found out? Maybe with a dramatic soundboard effect, since I feel like you haven't had much use of it yet.
Oh, a dramatic soundboard effect you want? I can do that.
Now. He's sweating. Oh, no.
If it loads, I've pressed it. Hang on. It's not loaded. It's not. Hang on. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, dear. There we go. What was that?
There we go. that was
new.
Pretty dramatic.
That was a new sound effect. I liked that. Go with it, Crispy. Go on. What have we found out?
We have officially found out the titles of the 60th anniversary specials after long last. To no one's surprise, the first special will be called The Star Beast. The second special will be called Wild Blue Yonder or Blue Wild Yonder. I always get that mixed up.
Wild Blue, yeah.
Thank you, everyone. I've got some good fact checkers in the room. And the third one, David Tennant's final story as the Doctor will be called The Giggle. Ooh.
That was not intentional, and I just realised why I did that. Which I still find so funny that if we talk about like the ending episodes for Doctors, especially in the modern run, you've got The Parting of the Ways, The End of Time, The Time of the Doctor, Twice Upon a Time, a lot of times, The Power of the Doctor, The Giggle. Like, it just... one of these things just doesn't belong. Like, it's like... It is a weird one. It's a weird one. What do you think of the names, then? What do you think of the names of the episodes?
I think they're very interesting. I mean, do you know what? It's funny you ask that, because me and Sean had a long conversation about this yesterday for Who Culture, so that'll be going up soon. And we kind of looked at him, and I feel like... Subscribe!
Don't worry, you can chill, you're okay.
The Star Beast, we'd kind of already maybe deduced that a little bit. We discussed that based on Beat the Meep and the Rarth. Is the Rarth? I got to do that on this one as well.
The Rarth.
Don't you dare do that. That's horrific.
That's their ongoing bit at Who Culture. Just the Rarth.
We can't say
it
without doing the
but I don't want to be reminded of it here.
So that one was kind of a bit self-explanatory. I think the one that we both felt the most kind of intrigued by was the Wild Blue Yonder. It's the one that seems the most mysterious, the one you kind of can't really grasp much from. You can't really... I mean, the Giggle kind of... I guess you can make some good guesses about where that's going. But Wild Blue Yonder just... I like it. It feels kind of like a fairy tale or something.
I've seen a lot of theories online. A lot of people in my comments are saying that there is like an American patriotic song that mentions Wild Blue Yonder or something. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know. A lot of people in my comments were mentioning that. But yeah, it seems that episode 2 is by far the most secretive, and that seems to be on purpose. And I'd put money on it now, but I think Shooty will be in that episode.
Yes, this is what we said yesterday.
Thoughts? Yeah? Oh, really? Oh, cool.
This is our discussion yesterday. We kind of... I think we found out that in that whole trailer there was maybe 2 clips that were from that episode, and they were both the ones with redacted over them. So there's literally nothing, and Russell T Davies has kind of stated that the episode 2 is the one that he kind of wants 0 footage to be released. So he'll release things for 1 and 3, but episode 2 is the one he wants to keep a mystery.
That's so intriguing. I'm like, wait, what are they hiding? Because it looks like, I don't know where they are. A lot of people are like, oh, that's Beep the Meep ship. But I think all the Beep the Meep stuff will be finished in episode 1. They'll like do a little recreation of the Star Beast comic. And then episode 2 comes around, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think originally people assumed that it was a 3-part story. But now I kind of maybe more going down the line of it being 3 separate stories that have a through line.
Yeah. That's a really good guess.
It's a mini-series. It's a mini-series. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So exciting.
A crazy time. Well, I've seen people saying that Donna and 10 and 14 lying on the floor, like going like, oh, what's that? Like they think someone's regenerating in front of them, which I think it could be a bit of a reach. Am I thinking it's a bit of? Am I wrong in thinking that? I don't know.
I don't know, because I saw a lot of people theorize that, and I only just realized the other day those little like glitch teasers they revealed beforehand. They're for one episode each. I thought that driving in the car, I was like, oh, they're all separate episodes. So the second one, there was, David Tennant looking like there was something going on. A lot of people predicted a regeneration, but like, who would be regenerate? Like, is Neil Patrick Harris the Valeyard? I don't know. There's all these wild theories going around.
Well, the other
think
thing
episode 2, there's going to be like cameos and nonsense.
Yeah. Well, this is the other thing we talked about. Is we're not entirely sure if this is going to carry over or not, but we've made kind of speculations that Ncuti is kind of in that plane with all the previous Doctors that we saw in The Power of the Doctor, kind of trapped.
Yes.
And so we were thinking about, is that the episode where you have all of these kind of Doctors trying to fight their way through, or that Doctor trying to fight his way through? We kind of had the suggestion that Ncuti is trying to emerge and is somehow being suppressed by 14. And it's kind of like a battle of the two consciousnesses trying to kind of fight their way through to be the Doctor. This is why we get the big bucks.
Yeah, no, that is wow. That's a really, really impressive theory. Damn. Okay, Troy, we need to lift up our game as to our
No,
theories.
we don't. I'm just annoyed now that you've basically spoiled the plot of the 60th.
Although, now that I've just said that out loud, all I've got in my head is that episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures where Eleven and Clyde like keep switching places and like.
Oh yeah, go between.
Sorry, Clyde, but
I don't think that's going to happen.
Is taken.
No, well, we never know, because one thing I'm intrigued about, because we do know that Russell had very early access to the Power of the Doctor because they filmed that so far in advance, and then once he got announced as showrunner, he was allowed access to it. And I honestly don't know if Russell would carry over elements from like in our timeline, the previous story like that. But I don't know. It could be very, very possible, because Russell does love his little Easter eggs and love like continuing stuff. So I just don't know how many elements he's going to carry over. And we do know that Unit are in this special, and they just blew up in the Power of the Doctor. So it's like, what's going on? He's gonna have to write something clever.
Yeah, and although I feel like I read somewhere as well, I think we've spoken about this before, that Chris Chibnall had brought back those classic Doctors because he didn't want to mess with what Russell was doing with the 60th, which kind of suggests that maybe we're not going to have, basically, who no one knows, but the kind of suggestion that he went down that route so that he didn't interfere with anything that Russell T Davies had planned.
With Matt Smith coming back, exactly.
Just Matt Smith, yeah.
He's gonna come back in, and he's gonna appear in the TARDIS. He's gonna do the Morbius have sex dance. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's gonna suddenly appear and go, and it's gonna be brilliant. Okay,
I'm going to church.
Oh God, yeah. Oh no.
Well, I don't know, Ellie. What do you think? Like, at the possibility of Matt Smith coming back, or like any of the new Who Doctors, Chris and Peter? What do you think about that?
I think we've done this. We've also discussed this quite a lot, and I feel like out of all of them, Matt Smith feels like the most likely, because Christopher Eccleston has made it quite clear how he feels about multi-Doctor stories, how he feels about Doctor Who in general, and also how he feels about Russell T Davies. And so I think as soon as Russell T Davies was announced as the showrunner again, it kind of maybe pushed that possibility aside. Obviously, we've already got David Tennant, and then Matt Smith obviously seems the most likely. Peter Capaldi has also kind of stated that he's not necessarily that interested in coming back. And obviously Jodie Whittaker's just left. So then you're kind of only left with Matt Smith. But the only issue with that being that he is a very, very big character in House of the Dragon. So if he is in it, he probably won't be in it very much.
Well, they haven't. Have they started filming season 2 yet? They've only just started filming it. So, if there was an opportune time last year when House of the Dragon season 1 had wrapped for him to be in it. So I'm not sure if that would create a problem for the 60th. Anything future, he's going to be too busy telling people they can keep their tongues. But beyond that, I don't. Have either of you seen House of the Dragon, or is that reference going to fall on deaf ears?
No, I have. I auditioned for it.
Did you?
Let's talk about that. Let's go with that
I don't know
for a
if I'm
second.
supposed to talk about that, but I did.
Oh, we can cut it if you need.
No, I think. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. No one told me I couldn't, but I didn't get it.
Exclusive scoop! Exclusive scoop!
Exclusive scoop. Yeah, Ellie is in.
It's not the
season
scoop you're
2,
expecting
everyone.
today, but it's one you got regardless.
Wow, well, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. My goodness.
It is. That would have been a game changer.
Yeah, the Alicent that we never got.
Yeah.
When I asked for your story, do you do a bit of acting on the side as well, not just Who Culture fame?
Yeah. Didn't talk about that, did I? That's what I trained in.
It's a new development.
No, that's what I
wow.
trained. My degree is in drama and acting. I've always been. That's what I was trying to pursue. But I was just working in a pub, and that's not really anything to do with acting. And so when this job came along, it was like, well, it's not acting, but it's definitely in the right direction. It's opening doors for me. I've made lots of connections that I never would have made otherwise, especially within the Star Trek franchise. So, but now that I'm kind of doing this job, I'm a little bit less kind of desperate to kind of go and do all of these acting things because I'm in a job that is equally as fulfilling. So, but
That's
yeah,
amazing.
I have
That's
an agent.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my life.
I'm baffled by that. No, that's perfect. Thank you. That was
Oh,
amazing.
life's perfect
really,
for you, blimey.
Yeah.
Blimey, I want to take notes. This is brilliant. But yeah, so Matt Smith in the 60th, I think, is going to happen.
Yeah, well,
That's the
I think
conclusion.
out of all of them,
But-
most likely.
The only slight issue with that is that going to feel a bit 250th-esque if the only two Doctor actors that share the screen. I know obviously we've got Shooty, but that's going to be more of a narrative-based thing, as we've said for, like as Ellie said. Like in terms of a nostalgia callback thing, it's just David and Matt again. Is that going to feel a bit recycled if there's no one else showing up?
This
I
is
don't know.
something that Sean and I have discussed as well. It kind of feels like anniversary specials have become expected that they're going to be a multi-Doctor story, and so then you have this kind of horrible. It's not balanced at all, but it's kind of like some people expect it and will be disappointed if it doesn't happen, and at the same time it's so predictable that you kind of like, if it does happen, you're like, could you not have thought of something new to do?
Yeah.
You can't win either way.
You can't win
Fans will
either
never be
way,
happy,
but
like with anything.
But either way, it has become a predictable thing for an anniversary special. So then it's like, well, do you go against the norm and try something new and not do that? Or do you do what people are expecting because it's an anniversary? But also, multi-Doctor stories aren't as unique anymore. We've seen more multi-Doctor stories that aren't anniversary specials in previous years. You know, Power of the Doctor, Twice Upon a Time.
It's true.
That's true.
It's very, very true. I have a theory as to how they could incorporate them. Perhaps if there were to be like they'll do a multi-Doctor story without a multi-Doctor story. I think its special too will be if there are any cameos from the Doctors, probably just Matt Smith or something. It'll be in that one, and they're like, why is that happening? And there's this massive theory that Neil Patrick Harris, who supposedly the toy maker, we don't know for certain.
Well, according
yet, but
to
it's all but
Sean, that is
confirmed.
we who he is.
We have faith in Sean knows everything clearly. She should have brought him on as well as to give us all the stories.
Honestly, we'll get all of the Who Culture people on here.
Yeah, the whole squad, the whole
damn squad. But I think if Neil Patrick Harris had some part in maybe David Tennant's face coming back, because we know that's probably a plot thread that will be, challenged in those stories, because it's never really been done before in Who, a lead actor coming back into the role. And I hope they explore as to why that happened. And I think it will have something to do with Neil Patrick Harris. He might be like, oh, I chose this face because it's one I love the most, but I could change it instant like that. And then all of a sudden, like, Matt Smith pops up for a second, and then he's like, whoa, how'd you do that? And then he goes away. Like, maybe that's a little theory as to how it could be a multi-Doctor story without them actually coming back.
I want to see Matt Smith in that outfit.
I know. Well, I honestly think that could happen.
If he does that would mean that it probably changed back to 11's outfit, because when 13 became 14, the costume changed. So if he changed anyone again, surely the costume would change in tandem.
And I feel like
as
well, that is something they could do with all of the Doctors. Because if you think about Let's Kill Hitler, when the Doctor has the I don't know what it's called, the voice interface, is that what it's called?
Hologram?
And the hologram, and it eventually takes the form of young Amelia Pond, but you had Rose and Martha and Donna, and they were just promo images, so you could do that without the the actors being there. So you know, you can have Matt Smith if you want, but you could also have all those other ones that said no.
Yeah, I mean, they very well could.
Just do what No Way Home did with Lizard and Sandman, just have like old archive footage and just slide it in seamlessly into the film.
Yeah.
Or like the 50th did.
Honestly could.
The 50th did that with all the doctors helping to save Gallifrey, to be fair, so...
Yeah,
I honestly, for a minute, thought that for my next trick with Chris Ferguson was like an unused scene or something, was something unique. And then when I went back and watched Part in the Ways, I was like,
I
still
see.
Cool.
It is still cool. It is still very, very cool.
Yeah. There you go. There's our title chat. There's our multi-doctor chat. What about the trailer specifically? Anything from the trailer? Specific pieces that we like for nostalgia's sake? Specific pieces that we like for narrative's sake? Anything stand out to you both? I know it was a short trailer, so there's not tons of subject matter.
It was a bit short, wasn't it? Okay, it finished and I was like, is that it? Personally,
more, please.
I was creeped out by the fact that Donna poked Beep in the eye, because why would you poke anything in the eye?
Oh, it's gross. I can't watch that end scene. It's really gross.
But I liked...
And the squeaky noise it made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I liked Donna's reaction, because that to me felt nostalgic of that. It was just so Donna. And I think, I've said this in our breakdown, Series 4 for me feels really nostalgic. I really remember watching Series 4. I really enjoyed it. I think I was probably like a bit older, so I understood it a bit more, have more memories of it. So to me, I was just like, oh my god, it just feels like, I feel like I'm 10 years old again. I just got very excited by Donna being 100% Donna. It's nice to know she hasn't changed.
It doesn't feel like anything's changed. Yeah, no, it's perfect. It's really, really nice. And they're obviously back like in full form. And that was really reassuring to see in this trailer. Like it honestly feels like no time has passed, but all the time has passed. So that was really nice. Troy, any standout moments for you?
I really like just seeing him spin round with the Sonic. Like he kind of like does like a bit of a turn round and like does something on the screen.
Yeah.
Like there was just kind of like a very, very David Tennant Doctor Who motion there that you only saw a piece of, and I got quite giddy over that. It was like in the original trailer after Power of the Doctor when there was just that one shot of him running down a corridor. There's only certain things you need to do with David for me to just go like all gooey-eyed, like nostalgia, and just go, he's doing things I really like. So like just anything of him like swinging a Sonic round or running down a corridor, I'm on board. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the plot could be terrible and I'll still have a great time. It won't be terrible, but, you know, I'm quite happy.
No, I'm sure it'll be great.
He looks so good. I think his hairstyle, I just always think of him saying in that one interview, you know, there'll be a point where I can't get my hair to stand up on end anymore, and then, you know, I won't be able to do it, blah, blah, blah. And you can kind of tell he's kind of had it more gelled up to keep it in place rather than, like, the old-fashioned, like, when he was in his 30s, he could just kind of, like, spray it up, you can see. But I think it really works well. I quite like how his hair looks.
He looks sensational.
It's different,
he looks
similar.
Sensational.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks great. He's an inspiration. You know, I'm going to get more David Tennant hair, clearly. I need to just do that.
One thing I will say that excited me from the trailer that I didn't pick up on the first time, but then when I watched Ellie's breakdown of the trailer, I got all giddy. Because on one of the unit monitors, there was... What was the channel, Ellie, that was on the screen?
Oh, AMNN News.
And that shook me because, for those of you who don't know, that they are the in-universe news channel from Series 1 to 4. I don't think they ever come back after that. But now they're back now. So that is very exciting.
The same American lady talking on the screen.
Wells.
Yeah, what was
maybe
her...
we'll get the really old-fashioned shot of someone... Trinity Wells, that's her name. And then maybe we'll get the shot of someone like taking a film of the TV screen again, which I know some people don't like, but... That will be very, like, for the 60th, very RTD nostalgic of just, like, zoom in so you can see the pixel. Then again, TVs are so much better now. You zoom in, you might not see the pixels as easily.
But yeah, do you think she'll be back, Ellie?
I hope so. I hope so.
Surely.
I know there's people have kind of... Twitter's gone crazy for wanting her to come back. And I feel like she's one of those characters that would be a surprise, but also everyone would recognise.
It'd be funny for all like the people that are getting introduced to Doctor Who by watching these, because, you know, I'm assuming these will be the first ones to premiere on Disney Plus. It'll be a brand new audience coming in, and, you know, a lot of people watching this for the first time won't think anything of the news anchor, and then there's all of us going, "Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah.
Please, the day has finally arrived."
Scene. Yeah, it's Doctor Who fans, we're a different breed.
We are a different breed. We absolutely are a different breed. But yeah, it was a short trailer, but I thought it was really nice that they took the opportunity to use Eurovision to promote the show. Because one thing with this era, like, they've been very, very transparent with us, which is something we hadn't had before with Chibnall, which I wasn't too surprised by, because on Broadchurch they were very, very secretive with that. But that's a different thing, because there's like a big reveal at the end. But with this one, like, Russell, he's just going full force, keeping us constantly updated with casting and filming and news updates. And so, yeah, I'm really glad they took Eurovision to do this trailer, because basically all they had to do, like, if this was the Chibnall era, one, they wouldn't have given us the titles for anything. But, you know, they could have just very easily tweeted out, oh, here's the titles. But they were like, nah, we're at Eurovision. Let's make a trailer and we'll get the titles there. And I can appreciate that. Absolutely.
Exactly. You know? And it got more people watching Eurovision, maybe. I don't know. Did we all watch Eurovision at the weekend?
I'm afraid I had to film a video straight after the trailer dropped, so as the biggest Hannah Waddingham fan in the world, it did make me quite sad that I didn't actually get to watch any of Eurovision.
Oh, dearie.
Did you watch it afterwards?
No, it took us quite a while to come together with all our notes, and then I had to film it, and then I had to get it to Danny, which actually took a really long time, because, as I mentioned at the beginning, my Wi-Fi is really bad, so the file was so big. I just had to sit there for ages, like, watching it upload, like, come on.
What a fun night. Danny would be like, come on, please, I need to edit.
He was just waiting for, like, any
Saturday night, baby, nothing better.
Oh, dearie.
What about you then, Crispy? Did you watch it?
I saw the winner announcement. I saw a couple highlight things on TikTok, but that was about it. And also, Who Culture's just launched TikTok, so if you want to give us a follow there, thank you so much. Appreciate that. We're promoing out the wazoo today, Ellie. Woo-hoo!
Yes.
Anyway,
you know what? I'll just leave. Yeah, shall I
Hello, everyone,
just
and
go?
welcome back to the Who Culture podcast. Thank you so much. Joining me today is, of course, the girl you know, Ellie Littlechild. How are you doing today?
Oh, goodness me. Goodness me.
I'm kidding.
Thank you, Ellie, for not going along with that. I appreciate it.
Good.
I appreciate it. She's got more professionalism than you have, Crispy.
I signed a contract.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, fair. But no, I actually watched a bit of it. I've never really been the biggest Eurovision watcher. I don't dislike it. I just never really watched it.
No,
but I ended up
I'm the
watching a
same.
good chunk of it on Saturday night. Yeah, like I wanted to see Mae Muller perform, and I was like, oh, I'll come down for that bit. Then I ended up just coming down like much sooner, and then watching like the whole of the show afterwards, and just like it was fun to see like all the different performers.
It's just very long.
Yeah, it is
long. It's long. It's very long. No, I was rooting for May, and then she performed, and then I was like, so who else was performing?
Oh well.
I don't want to say too much. I'm very patriotic, but let me just say, as someone who loves the song and has listened to it about 100 times on Spotify, I didn't quite feel the same vibe from the Eurovision performance, and I feel like that's a common comment, which is a bit of a shame, but...
It is a catchy song. I mean, I've not even listened to the whole thing, and it's been stuck in my head all week.
Yeah, it's...
Just that one line.
There you go.
Yep.
it's effective.
Yep, it's so catchy, but... No, there were some really great songs there. Sweden was a good winner, I feel like, personally. That song is very, 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 very good. Very good.
That's good. That's good. I
That's
haven't listened to any of these songs, but yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to the Eurovision
you need to listen
chat.
to it. Australia was there, mate, and Australia was one of the better ones. You should have been supporting them. Come on.
Always, mate. Always, mate.
Well, clearly
Aussie,
not,
Aussie,
because you
Aussie,
haven't watched
oi,
it.
oi, oi. That's what we do.
Shrimp
That's
on the
what
Barbie.
we do.
Shrimp on the Barbie.
Let's swing it back to Doctor Who, shall we?
No, so we ignored that, Ellie. I've said it too many times now. He's
said
had
it
enough.
so
He's had
many
enough.
damn times. It's ridiculous. Okay. Interesting. Were there any other Easter eggs in this trailer? I'm trying to think. The biggest one was that catch, because I honestly would never have twigged that the news channel was coming back. I didn't really spot there was a bit of code again, like they were doing with the teasers.
I was going to say there was the binary code with there was a bit that was redacted again. I even said it when I did the live stream. I was like, I bet you that translates to something. I just know like the marketing for this at this point. I was like, that's going to have something. But there was a binary code for like one little bit, and if you translate it and run it backwards, it says binary, binary, binary. I don't want to go.
Oh, that's very sad. That's very sad. Ellie, any thoughts on that?
Ellie's just going to cry in the corner now.
I don't need to relive that. I feel like he needs to be like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And actually, I did see someone on Twitter say, "Oh, what if this is Donna? Like she's going to die or something?" And I was like, "This is like a bit of a dark idea that like she's going to die or something, and she's seeing David Tennant and like having unfinished business before she dies." And I was like, "I hope that's not it. That seems a bit too dark for like a nostalgia celebration." I don't want to be crying. I don't want more of Guardians where I'm just crying for the last 10 minutes.
But Sean said that to me yesterday. He was like, I think Donna's going to die. And I was like, again?
Sure. I mean, she very well could, but assuming with these like episodes, Donna's condition or whatever will probably be cured within the first episode. That might be with the whole Beat the Meep stuff going on in the background. The main plot line might be why have we reunited with Donna and how she gets her memories back and all that. But after that, does that mean like if she lives through this, would she be a recurring character, or would Catherine Tate be like, you know what, we've had fun this second time round, but it has to be finished now? So do you think they would have the guts to kill off Donna, Ellie? Do you think they would do such a thing?
I just don't know. Russell T Davies is a very unpredictable man. So I wouldn't put it past them. I feel like if any of the characters are going to continue on, it would be Rose.
Absolutely. Hands down.
Well, one of the theories that we were discussing yesterday was that if there was any kind of like residual Time Lordiness in Donna, that it might have been passed on to Rose. And we were just, in the world of speculation going, what if Rose regenerates into Ruby Sunday? And then we went on a little we just went down a little rabbit hole.
Wow. You guys are very good at theorizing. Wow.
Yeah, the Time Lord thing, yeah. I don't know about Ruby Sunday, because I think that's the route, because there's the rumour that Ruby Sunday's Kate Stewart's daughter, right? So that would clash with that. And, I am very heavily invested in that theory because of the way that was filmed for Series 14, and it looks very mum-daughter in some of the stuff they were doing. So
and to be fair, I like that
Ruby Stewart.
more, I think.
Yeah,
Ruby Sunday is Ruby Sunday. I like that.
That Time Lord thing, it's possible, yeah. I mean, all River had to do was be conceived in the TARDIS and she could regenerate. So, stranger things have quite literally happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a really, really good point. Gosh, I mean, the possibilities are really endless and we have such little information, but we have more than we usually do, which is good for us theorists over here, I suppose, which is good.
It gives us some work to do.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Passes the timey-wimey.
I have one final question. For us all, and this is a good concluding one. It's kind of in two parts, but kind of isn't. Do you think we will get, or should we get, any more shooty content in any 60th marketing? What are your opinions on that? Because if I can lead, I would say I don't want any more. I don't want any more at all. I don't want to know anything else going on with Shooty. I don't want to know.
I think it's enough to know that he's going to be in it. I think from what we've heard about that one clip that we have seen, and obviously Russell T Davies has said that the background is fake because the real background is too much of a spoiler, which makes me think that he's maybe more involved than... I mean, he's going to be in it at some point because we assume that David Tennant's going to regenerate into him. So
yes,
you were expecting him to at least be at the end of the Giggle. But personally, I think he is more involved, but I don't want it to be spoiled. I think it's enough to know that he's going to be there. But I like that we don't know too much.
And we've got so much shooty stuff from the set photos and the official photos and all this stuff, and I'm like, I feel like I have enough of a taste of what's coming with Shooty after the 60th anyway, that I don't also want to be informed on what he's getting up to in the 60th special. I want that to be more of a teaser for the future and not have that be teased as well in tandem with David. Like, let David have his little marketing, everyone's excited, David Tennant's coming back, or most people are excited, David Tennant's coming back, let's all live in that hype, and then we can put all our focus into Shooty afterwards, just knowing he's there. It's enough for me. I don't personally think they'll show much more of him for that reason. I don't think they need to, personally. I think the intrigue is there for people who are more interested in Shooty, but the majority of people are currently so hyperfixated on David Tennant that, it'll work anyway.
Yeah. It'll be... I mean, I honestly, I don't know.
Crispy, you know what's happened. You can fill me in for a second.
Troy's doorbell is unpredictable.
Where it doesn't ring. 1 week.
And every time his doorbell rings, I'm sorry, Ellie. This is not. We try to be so professional today, but it's just been absolute chaos. But we really do appreciate you coming over. Don't be professional on my account.
People seem to think that I am professional. I'm just sat in my loft, just.
It's awesome.
Just chilling.
You've completely you've got all those I don't even know what you call those rubber. I don't even know
paneling.
What's around you. Yeah, exactly, to make your microphone sound super crisp.
Yeah, because I used to literally work in a cupboard, which is not an exaggeration. It was literally a tiny little cupboard.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah, literally like Harry Potter, and it was killing my knees, it was killing my back, it was killing my neck. There was no daylight. And this was when I was just a freelancer, so it was kind of like, well, we'll see where it goes. But then I got a lot more work. And the cupboard became unavailable, so I needed a new space, but this room was just a shell, so it was really echoey. I was like, I'm going to have to plaster the walls with foam.
It's so iconic. Did you, order them purple, or did you custom them purple?
No, I just ordered them purple. Well, they came as a pack of it. It was half and half, so half black, half purple.
Wow. We were just talking about... I mean, obviously, look at that. I love Ellie's setup, don't you, Troy?
Yeah, I love Ellie's setup. We're both just showing you up on really well-decorated setups, Crispy. Can you put more posters up or something?
I have a couple photos. Katy Perry over there for some reason. It's all pretty exciting.
But until it looks like visual diarrhea, it's not good enough.
Yeah, well, you know what?
That's what I went for in my room, just visual diarrhea.
There's way too much. Troy has way too much merch.
I've just got this picture that a friend of mine drew. My friend of mine drew me as River Song.
That's really, really cool. Because River's your favourite character, is she not?
That is an understatement.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, she's alright, I guess.
It's not even just River, Alex Kingston is one of my most favourite people in the world.
She's insane. She is absolutely insane. No, it's a very, very good choice. Absolutely.
Agreed. Yes, she's very nice.
The amount of people who don't know that we know each other who have tagged me in your TikTok video interviewing Alex Kingston. The number of times I've been tagged in that video.
My one?
Yeah. So many people have tagged me in it, and I'm like, yeah, I know. You sent it to me. I know. I've seen
it. Oh, wow.
In fact, I think when Danny told us that you were joining Who Culture, I think that was the first thing he sent to me. I was like,
oh my goodness.
Hey. And then, I just keep getting tagged in it repeatedly. Even now.
Well, I apologise. I apologise for that. It is by far my most viewed TikTok. And she was lovely, absolutely lovely to me. She thought the name Crispy was hilarious. But
well, it is hilarious. It is hilarious.
Wowee.
Do you know what I realised? I didn't show my mum's photo with Freema. I should have done that earlier. So
all right, we can end with this beautiful photo there.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that amazing photo. There you go, everyone.
It's perfect.
I just thought I'd end with that.
Well done.
Beautiful conclusion. Because somehow I've forgotten. She wanted me to share it, so there you go. There you go.
Perfect.
That's a good way to wrap it up. So from wall decorations to TikToks to Freema Agyeman photos, that's about as chaotic of an outro as we're going to do. So, Ellie, I feel like we've had a bit already, but you know what? We that's what we do with our guests. We let them come on, we let them shell themselves out, be full-on sellouts. So here's your chance to go absolutely crazy. Where can people find you? Where can we keep up to date with you? What's happening? Give us all the links. Give us everything.
Well, first and foremost, Who Culture.
It's pressure.
Who Culture. Yeah. On YouTube primarily.
Oh, she's loyal.
I'm loyal. And obviously on all the social medias. We're on Twitter and we're on Instagram and now we are on TikTok. I don't know why I've decided to bring that upon myself, but I decided that we're going to do it.
Proud.
And then,
Proud.
And then we've got all the other What Culture channels. All the other ones, Trek Culture, What Culture Horror, all those. Just give them a little shout out,
Yeah, that's good.
Star Wars. Give Star Wars a shout out. Sounds like you don't do that much.
And Star Wars. And then, I am also personally on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. My username changes on all of those, but generally if you search Ellie Littlechild, there aren't that many of them in the world, so I'm sure that you will find me.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, we thank you very, very much for being here today. Usually at the end of our episodes, I give my final thoughts, but my final thought for us today is a question to Ellie, just to kind of round this whole thing out. Ellie, this is a question we sometimes ask our guests. Mm-hmm. It's a scary question, but I think it'll be an interesting one.
Right.
What is your favourite episode of Doctor Who?
No.
That's how we're going to end it. That's how we're going to end it. A lot of pressure.
That's not an easy question to answer. You know, when we
can roll the outro and leave them on a cliffhanger.
When we hit, I can't remember how many subscribers. I think it was 100,000 on YouTube. We had to film a video about our favourite episodes, and I said to Danny, I was like, "Can I just say the River Song story arc as a whole?" He was like, "No, you've got to pick." And I was like,
No.
So I think what I said then. I mean, obviously, I love all of the River Song episodes, but the ones that I really, really enjoy are Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead. I really enjoy those. But another episode that's not a River Song episode that I just find myself putting on quite often just because it just makes me feel good, I like it, is School Reunion. I really enjoyed that episode as well.
Oh, perfect. Great choice. That is very, very good. Wow, that's amazing. All right.
Nice I just love Sarah Jane.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Don't we all? I'll always wonder what that episode of her with Jodie would have looked like, because I know Chibnall wants to do it, but if only Liz had been here for them to do that, that would have been amazing. I would have loved to have seen those two together. That would have been fabulous.
Absolutely electric.
Yeah, it would have been fab. What a good way to end the podcast on Sarah Jane. I like that. It's a good ending.
Perfect.
So there we go. Crispy, what are we even talking about next week? I feel like we're doing this a lot now where we haven't decided what our next week's topic is, so we can't tease it.
We have another super secret interview already in the bag, but I think we might do that the week after. So next week, I'll organise something fun. I had a look in the document. There are some various ideas we could do. Maybe another hot takes or something. I don't know.
Running it. Okay, he's got an idea. So everyone, it's going to be Crispy's show next week, so we'll find out what he's got cooking. We'll see. Well, can you do the editing as well then if it's your show?
Moving on.
All right, cool. Thank you everyone for watching episode 60. Thank you, Ellie, for being here. Really appreciate it. Really nice of you to be here. But thank you all for watching and listening. And it's been fun. Thank you very much. But we will see everyone next week with some more Doctor Who content, whatever it may be from Crispy. Trust him for something cool. Hopefully he'll pull it off. But until then, it's goodbye from Crispy.
Bye.
It's goodbye from Ellie.
Bye-bye.
Say bye. There we go. Okay. And goodbye. I think there's a bit of Wi-Fi delay, so I wasn't sure if you knew to pick up there, and I was like, okay. And it's goodbye from me. We'll see you all next week in episode 61. Alan Z, baby.
Alan Z.